Well, I decided to jump on here and do a Saturday night rant, I guess you could call it. Now, I haven't been on in the past few days. I took some time off specifically for Thanksgiving. I had family in town and I wanted to put my focus and attention on that. When you get to the point where your family is living around the country, when you do get together for those few precious days, uh, sorry, it just makes no sense for me to be involved in doing things that I don't have to be doing. And so I wanted to devote my time to them. Since then, as many of you know, I am on the air on radio in Florida. And I'm actually kind of, I guess you could say, even program director there. And we have flipped our format when we're not doing politics. It's a classic rock station, classic rock and politics. It's a great mix. Just ask Kid Rock. But we have switched to the all Christmas format, and I know what some of you are saying. Pastor Marty, I'm so disappointed in you. Those all Christmas stations are driving me nuts. Apparently, there's a thing I just found out about this. Whamageddon. That the goal is from December 1st to December 25th to try to get through the entire month of December without hearing Wham sing Last Christmas. I'm for it. We don't program that on the station I'm on. It's an oldies classic rock station during the regular year. So I made the suggestion: why don't we go hardcore oldies even with our Christmas rotation? So it's all 50s, 60s, and 70s stuff. When I say 70s stuff, I'm talking like, the Carpenters and those like when Goodyear and every department store put out their own Christmas album. That's kind of what we're playing, and it's a scream. We're putting sound bites from different Christmas specials in there, stuff that you would remember as a kid. It's the kind of Christmas music you would have listened to in the backseat of your station wagon with your parents on your way to your relatives for the holiday. So it's a fun retro blast from the past. It is not the overplayed pop version of Christmas music that you hear on all the 24/7 Christmas radio stations out there. We're just having some fun with it, and we feature Christmas music you won't hear anywhere else. My favorite that we will play ad nauseum because I just love it. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. So that's kind of what I've been doing, which has taken away some of the time from here. But on some days, I just kind of look at the news and I'm like, I can't do this today. I just can't do this today. And especially as we head into the holidays, I want all of you to have a wonderful time with friends and family. Obviously, as a pastor, there is a reason for the season beyond Christmas trees and the stuff under them that is very important to me and what we celebrate. But you can get so fixated on what's happening in news and in the world that you can lose sight of the important things like your family, your faith, etc. So put some real emphasis on that. And this stuff is what it is. But there were a few things I thought I would go ahead and jump on here and chat about. So let's just jump right in. Is Elon Musk saving America? Well, actor James Woods thinks so. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. You can find that on Friday night, James Woods was a guest with Tucker Carlson via the telephone. Uh, Now that Elon Musk has released this avalanche of evidence that proves the DNC was in bed with big tech, and i.e., Twitter, in suppressing the Hunter laptop story, making sure that did not get regular media air coverage during the election cycle of 2020, blaming it on Russian collusion when the whole time even the FBI and intel agents that were making the rounds on the cable shows all talking about this had been discredited, debunked. This is not Hunter's laptop. They all knew. They all admit in emails and in private tweets that they were absolutely just BSing everybody. And Elon Musk is putting it out there. Now, some Republican congressmen are saying, we're going to have hearings on this. Here we go. And it'll be great theater, and it will certainly be far more interesting than the January 6th stuff. And I have to wonder, as I watch this unfold, What's Zuckerberg at Facebook thinking? What are the CEOs that run Google slash YouTube thinking? So this is going to get very interesting, as Artie Johnson would say back in the day on Laugh-In. But personally, I'm sorry. I can't be like some other conservative pundits on here. I love guys like Dr. Steve Turley and their optimism, but I just, I can't. I can't. Uh, do we have the goods? Can we prove that the Democrats were in collusion with big tech to suppress information? Yeah, duh. uh, will anything happen to these people? No. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's going to lose a job. No, nothing is going to happen. There will be no accountability for this. So on that level, it's kind of like it's a dog and pony show. Let them go ahead and do whatever it is they're going to do on Capitol Hill. And I know some of you don't want to hear this, but whether it's the Democrats doing it with January 6 hearings or Republicans are going to do this over the Hunter laptop, at the end of the day, Hunter's not going to jail. Sorry. Biden's not going to be impeached. And if he is, uh, I'll eat my hat. And I've got several in the closet there. I'll grab one. I will eat it. Um, and I am declaring this on December the 3rd, 2022. Um, I don't mind, though, when Congress goes through this, despite the fact they are wasting tax dollars, in my opinion. At least if they're doing this, they're not dreaming up new ways to tax you and me and make our lives miserable on that level. So you know what? Knock yourselves out. Have the Twitter gate hearings, and it gives Sean Hannity something to talk about because God knows he needs all the help he can get. So we get what this is going to be over the next several months, and again, when it's all said and done, on that level, it means nothing. Now, where it is important, and James Woods was absolutely right because he got censored and kicked off of Twitter, and he's been allowed back on. And it was discovered in this Elon Musk dump of emails that James Wood was kicked off Twitter at the request of the Biden White House. Bum, ba-dum, bum. I mean, literally, the Biden White House contacted Twitter and said, get rid of James Woods. On one level, Jim should be incredibly flattered. I like James Woods as an actor, always have. He even in dramatic roles, he brings humor that I enjoy. I thought he was great as Lester Diamond, the pimp in the movie Casino. I have always enjoyed anything that I've seen James Woods in. I have always thoroughly enjoyed. He's a good actor, solid. That said, it isn't like he's made anything in recent years, and I'm sure a lot of young people don't even really know who he is. But the fact that all he really does, and remember, especially during the 2020 election cycle, he had some of the best takedown tweets of Joe Biden. And he is such a threat to Biden. They colluded to have him taken off Twitter. But of course, James Wood says that also, though, they've destroyed and ruined his career. And here he is, he's won Academy Awards and he has been, received high accolades. And every performance he gives is, first rate, top shelf. He gives it his all in all. He's not a hack actor. He's very, very good at his craft. But they have destroyed his career. And they're destroying the careers, he was explaining, even of other actors. That when a director interviews a potential actor for a role in a movie, that when that young actor or that actor leaves that interview, one of the things that the staff does is they immediately check their social media, what they're posting, what they're saying, but also who they're following. And there are actors that are losing out on roles if they follow James Woods on social media. And so what James Woods was talking about is we've got this complete loss of the freedom of speech in our country. The First Amendment is gone. And he was giving this interview with Tucker from his home. He had just walked in the door, he said, from practicing his Second Amendment freedom. He was doing target practice because he may need to protect, literally, his First Amendment freedom. You think? We're there. And he actually said, you know, on the one level, it's obvious I have made the Biden enemy list. And of course, he said the media continually wants my reaction to that. You're on the Biden enemy list. And he says, but you know, there's another side to this that people need to consider. In other words, if I've made their list as their enemy, guess what? They've made my list as my enemy. And then he said, I'm not afraid, and I'm coming for him. He wants to gather a class action lawsuit of people that the White House and Biden muscling big tech and leaning on big tech and how they treat people, how they are represented, having their accounts suspended, being labeled by their cohorts in the media as extremists, over the top, etc., and how it has destroyed their careers. James Woods would like to gather all those people together and have a class action lawsuit against Joe Biden. Again, where it's going to go, no idea, but I like the fact that what James Wood is not doing is the apology tour. So for that, hats off, high salute, way to go. And yes, he's absolutely right. And people say, well, you know, these companies are privately owned. No, I have been fighting against that asinine logic for over 2 years now. Twitter, Facebook, these are public utilities. This is the way America communicates. Do you know anyone that has a landline telephone in their house anymore? Cell phones, tweets, TikTok. I mean, this is how people communicate. In that, I would have to say then, back in the day, the phone company couldn't not refuse, or how do I word that? It's Saturday night. The phone company could not refuse the Ku Klux Klan and putting a phone in their office because it was public utility. The power company could not refuse to supply power to the Ku Klux Klan office because it was a public utility. All this nonsense that we hear about, well, you're a private company. No. This is where there's free speech. And you could say, well, you don't have to use Twitter. No, you can go out in the backyard, dig a hole, stick your head in it, scream and yell anything you want, but nobody's going to hear it. And the idea of freedom of speech is not about protecting the speech I agree with. It was specifically put in there by the framers of our Constitution to protect the speech I don't agree with. And James Woods made a brilliant statement to Tucker. He said, do you know how old some of the signers of the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence were in the Constitution? These guys that are labeled by the liberals as these old white men. John Adams was 18. 18. These were young, true, real liberals. And the idea that they believed that men were given inalienable rights and they are to be free. James Woods, who I got to believe is one of those who at one time, probably living in Hollywood, considered himself kind of a liberal and is kind of, realized that what liberal used to mean and what it means now are two totally different things. Because he made this statement on Tucker Carlson Friday night, and you got to watch it. It's great. Scratch a liberal, find a fascist. Think about that. Scratch a liberal, find a fascist. The liberals are constantly talking about it's the Donald Trumps and the MAGA crowd that are the fascists, when in reality, who is it that wants never-ending mandates? Who is it that wants to stick chemicals into your body, whether you want them there or not? Who is it that has overreach and authoritarianism coming out of their ears and wants to censor you, muzzle you, and tell you just to shut up, line up, stick your tongue out, say, let us zap you, let us Fauci ouchie you. You get no rights, no say in any of this. Is that conservatives that do that, or is that liberals that do that? I'm confused right now. So, Elon Musk, again, thank you for this document dump. We'll see in the weeks ahead where this goes. You and I probably know where it's going. It's kind of like, the DOJ throwing their fit about hands are tied and going through the documents we see from Mar-a-Lago. They already know exactly what they have. They know exactly what they have. And in reality, they appoint a special counsel and all that's going to blow up on their face. Because in reality, they know what Trump took, they know what he's got, and if they had anything, they'd be using it right now. So it's more dog and pony show from the liberal left. All right, Kanye West. I don't have any inside baseball information on this. I'm just kind of looking at this thing because apparently, he went on the Alex Jones show and had like another meltdown, and I saw clips of it. What the heck was he doing with the net and the bottle of Yoo-Hoo, which is one of the most disgusting, nasty drinks. Had took one sip of it one time. It's like pure sugar, but it looks like mud water, mop water. It's just nasty looking stuff. But he's trashing on the Jews and saw about he loves Hitler, and after the show he declared himself a Nazi. I mean, what is up with him? Let me just share this. It's being reported that when Trump had Kanye and his pal Flores, whatever the guy's name is, there at that Thanksgiving dinner, Nick Fuentes, I don't know his last name. The guy that's supposedly a white supremacist. Okay, his name alone would tell you, well, that could be problematic. The fact that he hangs around with Kanye, yay, is he really a white supremacist? Anyway, that Trump was warned during that meal, you're being set up. Watch out. Now, Kanye, who likes controversy because it's his brand, it's the way he gets attention. Kanye is running for president. His campaign manager is Milo Yiannopoulos or Yiannopoulos or Snuffleupagus. Milo, a few years ago, was the openly gay conservative. And, he's making the college rounds with people like Ben Shapiro and Ann Coulter. And by the way, that's where all that cancel culture was born. You know that, right? It's all carryover from the college campus days when they were burning down administration buildings. Conservatives come here and speak, and they're in my safe space. And no, I don't want any conservatives talking on my campus. We warned you 10 years ago that was going to be a problem. Most people thought, nut college kids doing nut things. Who cares? Well, the problem is they graduated and they got jobs as school teachers and somehow got themselves elected to political office, AOC. And now they're bringing all that cancel culture woke crap into the world that you and I live in, and now we have to deal with it. So Milo Yiannopoulos has recently had this, conversion that he's no longer gay, he's now straight. Okay. But apparently, he hates Donald Trump. He's a hardcore now, never Trumper. And he wants to take down Donald Trump and the whole MAGA part of the Republican Party. And again, I have no inside baseball on this. I'm just thinking out loud. And this is an area where I was concerned for the president when he was the president, and I'm still concerned about him. Donald Trump, sometimes to a fault, is too loyal. Basically, if people say nice things about him, he loves them, even sometimes when he doesn't know everything about them. That's why he ended up with Omarosa on his staff. And he ended up finally, firing her. For a guy who is as smart and capable as Donald Trump is, he does have a couple of weaknesses. Now, we can talk ad nauseum about his vanity, his pride, which can be a weakness, absolutely. But this idea that he surrounds himself with people who do not have his best interest at heart, i.e., a traitor like Mike Pence, because he listened to Jared Kushner and his daughter, and he brought Mike on the ticket. And that was a huge mistake. And the constant upheavals they were having in the White House and among the staff, because again, Donald Trump didn't always know who he should be listening to, and that's why we ended up with Fauci. Here's what I think the setup is. And again, I have no inside baseball on this. I'm just looking at this, and this is my guess. Kanye, whatever he calls himself this week, takes his so-called white supremacist friend. They show up at Mar-a-Lago. Ye vouches for him. They get in. The media gets a hold of Donald Trump had Thanksgiving dinner with a racist, a white supremacist. And they are going to beat that drum from now until the 2024 election day. And it was one of those that Donald Trump just kind of walked right into. And so the reason I bring this up, Mr. President, please get a couple people around you who are really, 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 really good at discerning people, who are really, really good at reading the character of people, who are really, really good at being able to tell you who to trust and who not to trust, and who to absolutely stay away from and don't have a photo op with. So that's my take on the whole Kanye thing. And, I'm not even going to get into what he did on Alex Jones other than, all the people that say Alex Jones is radical and has to be censored and removed. Even Alex Jones was like really uncomfortable with what, he was doing on a show, like, you got to go, man. You got to go. What's the matter with you? All right. I'm going to wrap this up with that guy, Charlamagne the Goad. No, I refuse to call him God. I have one God, the Lord Jesus Christ, period. And Charlamagne, you ain't him. Well, there's breaking news that Charlamagne has told Joe Biden, you take black people for granted, and so far you have not earned the black vote for 2024. And of course, the media is like, media mogul Charlamagne is withholding endorsement of Joe Biden. We've been down this road, Charlie. You pulled this during the 2020 election cycle, Charlie. You had Biden on there. Biden on your show, it's where he said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And you didn't nail him for that. You did not nail him for that. You did not nail him that he was such a racist. He had you all typecast that you are just on his plantation and you will do as the massa says. And the massa say you will vote Democrat. You didn't call him out on that. Some of your black companions in media, the ones on the conservative side, they jumped on it immediately. Ask Officer Tatum. Ask Diamond and Silk. Ask the Hodge twins. Ask the Black Patriot. And I can go on and on and on. So Charlie, you're stop. Oh, this is like a big deal. He's withholding his endorsement. Donald Trump did more for the black community than Joe Biden or any Democrat ever has. And if you want to go back to Lyndon Baines Johnson signing the Civil Rights Act, remember, he would have never gotten that through had the Republicans not voted with him, because the Southern Democrats, the Dixiecrats, refused to go along with it. Johnson had to reach across the aisle and get the Republicans to vote for civil rights. It was a Republican president gave you your first civil rights, emancipation. That was Abraham Lincoln. And your civil rights that Martin Luther King marched for you to be able to vote and be treated like a human being, again, you could thank the Republicans who voted pretty much unanimously with Lyndon Johnson on that issue. Otherwise, it still wouldn't be the law of the land. So, what did Donald Trump do for Black America? Well, you mean besides put him back to work? Besides put pressure on corporations and businesses to go and invest in Black communities, to bring businesses in there that could employ people, that could lift them out of poverty, increase and build their own personal wealth and raise their communities. The fact that he was constantly meeting with Black leaders, not just on Capitol Hill like the Black Caucus, but real Black community leaders who actually live in the neighborhoods they represent. That he was constantly making sure that inner cities and Black America had what it needed. Not to mention the pardons that he gave out and the way he fixed a prison system created by Obama Biden. Obama Biden and his so-called crime bill, which has done more to devastate and destroy the African American community than anything in this country. Donald Trump undid all that nightmare. So, Charlamagne the Goad, you're really not a god, and apparently your crystal ball doesn't work either. So spare us the sideshow entertainment nonsense. We're thinking about if we're going to go with Biden. Oh, bullhawk, of course you are. Especially if behind closed doors you get a little of that Hunter money. Well, that's it for my Saturday night rant. It's not real organized. It wasn't supposed to be. It's just I've been on here in a few days and wanted to catch up with you and let you know I am still alive. And yes, I do pay attention to what's going on in the news. Even if right now I'm not commenting on it every day, I am watching it. Hey, God bless you. Take care. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll catch you on Monday.